approach Kanban, especially for like new teams, because it teaches people the principles and main practices of Kanban. So what we're going to share with you tonight is one of those techniques that we use for our organizations and in some of our training courses. For some of the people that have taken the KMP1 and the KMP2 or the TKP, you're going to be more familiar with some of the games that they have, such as Get Kanban or Feature Band, right? But this is sort of a spin-off of that, something that we did to try to meet the needs of our virtual trainings. And so, like Steve was saying, you know, this is something that you guys will be able to use and take away to your teams. We're working on getting this published through Miro, so it will be available through the Miroverse shortly, but it's also something that we can share with you on the site as well. And before we begin, I'm going to share a slide deck with everybody. Steve, yep. Looks like I have the ability to share here. So I'm just going to switch over. And begin with introducing ourselves. So my name is Travis Davidson, and co-founder, along with Sandra Wong of Flowana. We're a Lean-Agile coaching and training company that was inspired a couple of years ago to do more with Agile and to start solving problems using the Kanban method. And so when we got into the method, it was really something that we became passionate about because it inherently solved problems for our company and some of the unique problems that we were going through. So that's where we started the journey. And Sandra, do you want to
Yes.
introduce
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah, so you can go to the next slide. So yeah, we're both AKTs. You're obviously familiar with that. We teach different types of coaching and different workshops, even games like this one. But our main focus is Kanban classes. So every month we teach our team Kanban practitioner, which we call the TKP. And we also teach the Kanban systems design and the Kanban systems improvement that you can see the dates coming up. If you're interested in taking any of those, please reach out. We'll give you a special Steve meetup discount, friends and family. So let us know.
All right. So just for just to kind of get an idea of everybody's familiarity with the Kanban Pizza Game, who's actually played this in person? By just giving me like a thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty good tool for teaching the general concepts as we had mentioned before. At Flowana, one of the core values that we have is we believe in gamification and having fun. And so we look for a multitude of ways to bring concepts to students and through the use of games. And this is one of the ways that we use gamification to teach basically the 6 practices that we'll go through later on. So basically the goal of this game is to teach people how Kanban emerges through a system. One of the core principles is evolve Kanban through evolutionary change. So what we want to do with this game is we want to evolve the practices through each of the iterations. And by evolving those practices, we hope that people start to understand those 6 practices and why we use them. And one of the core concepts, of course, of Kanban is actually the idea of whip limits. And so teaching whip limits to somebody that hasn't used them before can kind of be a little bit of a challenging concept. But if you're familiar with Eli Goldratt and the goal and some of the the lean practices, you kind of already understand these things, right? Like by introducing bottlenecks into the system and introducing constraints, you can gain predictability. And so that's one of the reasons why we use these WIP limits. And of course, we start to also emphasize some of those things in Agile, like experiencing team self-organization and adaptation. And of course, like I mentioned, we want to be able to address bottlenecks and eliminate waste while maintaining quality.
Yeah, so Travis already explained, basically the Kanban is very easy in the sense that it just has 3 change principles. You start with what you do. No huge revolutionary changes. They're more evolutionary changes. We respect the current process, the roles, responsibilities, and titles. A couple of new titles have emerged in a way in Kanban, but it's not necessary to change, your title. The second is that the team agrees to pursue incremental evolutionary change. And the third one, which is my favorite, is to encourage acts of leadership at all levels. Everyone in the team is empowered to take action, to propose different changes, to experiment, and to come up with new ways in which we can actually improve the system.
So with that, let's play a game. So what we're going to do briefly before we just jump into the game, I want to go through some of the game mechanics and instructions for the game. Let me switch over to our Miro board. All right. So everybody will be introduced to the Miro board. And for those of you that aren't really familiar with Miro, I'll kind of go over some of the game mechanics and how the application is used, so you don't become lost in the functionality and tripping over, how to actually create some of this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually share a dashboard with everybody. And this dashboard, I'll put that in the chat now.
I can do it while you're talking. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Sandra. All right. So while we're sharing the link, once you get the link, you'll be presented with a dashboard. Steve will actually create breakout rooms. And so you will align your board with the breakout room. So room 2 gets, of course, board 2. Once you open up the board, you'll see some instructions over here on the left. And this is where the game will start. So we have some short instructions up here on what to do. And basically, the game goes something like this. So each one of the team members is basically a group of pizza chefs, and it's your responsibility to create pizzas for the customers. And so the idea is to create as many pizzas as possible while maintaining quality, right? We always want to, it's not always necessarily about the speed, it's also about the quality. So when you guys get together as a team, you're going to go down to the first game board, and you can go to the first game board by either pulling up this menu down here, the frames, and go into the board, or just scrolling down and zooming in. All right. Now, the first thing that you guys are going to want to do, once you guys get into your breakout rooms, you're going to want to assign some roles. There's going to be 5 roles that you'll want to assign. You'll want to assign a baker, who's also going to be the scorekeeper and the timekeeper. You'll want somebody to actually make the pizza crusts. And then You'll also want somebody that can make the sauce, somebody that can make the cheese. There's some Canadian bacon here for some of those users from Canada. I don't even know if that's actually a thing, like the French fry, but then we have some pineapple. So the idea is that you guys will actually be creating a Hawaiian pizza, all right? And if you can see from the example at the top of the screen here, there is an image of what a perfect pizza should look like. So your goal is to get together with a team, assign these roles, and within 8 minutes, you guys will have to make as many pizzas as possible. And the challenge here is that a bottleneck has been introduced. And the bottleneck is the oven, right? And of course, you know, you have a team of 5 people and you guys can make as many pizzas as possible. However, you can only fit 3 pizzas into the oven at any given time. And the pizzas have to be cooked for a minimum of 30 seconds. Remember, we're talking about quality here. So if you have the pizzas in the oven for less than 30 seconds, they're going to end up a little doughy and raw, and nobody likes a raw pizza. If you leave the pizzas in the oven for more than 30 seconds, of course, you know, the pizza starts to get burned, and nobody likes a burned pizza either. So the baker, the scorekeeper, has to make sure that the pizzas stay in the oven for 30 seconds. But that's not necessarily a difficult challenge, because you can use this little timer down here at the bottom. And this timer, if you set it, you can set it for 30 seconds. All right? So scorekeeper comes in here, sets it for 30 seconds, and he can start the clock. Once it's done, it'll automatically, an alarm will go off, the team will be able to hear it, and you can stop and reset it. Okay? Some of the functionality of Miro. So if you're not familiar with Miro, you can use the shapes over here to create a pizza. So each one of the team members will need to create a circle or a shape, and you can actually use this template over here to create the pizza. So if I'm going to create a crust, I can come over here. I can use this as a template. You would pick the color up here, pick the color, and once you have the color, you can drop it over here, and it's ready to go. The person that needs to create the sauce can come over here, create the sauce. As you can see, it will take some adjustment. And we move the sauce over. Okay, then the person that does the cheese will need to do the cheese. So the idea is that this is not necessarily supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be a little uncomfortable at first as you're getting used to it. As you progress, you will find ways to improve the system and to make it faster. But in the beginning, you're going to experience some of that Tuckman's model, right? You're going to be, you guys are going to be forming a new team, and you guys are going to be forming new ways of doing things. And so it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but that's actually part of the game, because by the time you get to the end of iteration 3, you're actually going to be more proficient in making those shapes and actually making the pizzas. But there will be potentially some struggle in the beginning. So what you'll want to do is once you have made all the shapes, you'll want to put all the pizzas together. You can select them, you can group them. And once you select and group them, you can put them off to the side until you get 3 pizzas. And once you get 3 pizzas, you can put them in the oven. All right? And then once those 3 pizzas are done in 30 seconds, you can plate them and send them off to the customers. So the idea for the first round is for everybody just to get together, start talking. Once you start talking, you guys can form an idea of how you're going to make pizzas, how you guys are going to work together, and how you're going to do that in the most efficient way. Once we're done with the first 8-minute round, we're going to come out and we're going to have a little bit of a retrospective. We're going to talk a little bit about that round. We'll send you guys back for 5 minutes to do a retrospective. And then this will give you guys the opportunity to talk about how you did as a team, what you could do to improve for the next round. Okay?
Are there any questions? It looks like, yeah.
Let's see, 10 breakout rooms for what, 5 minutes?
No, 8 minutes. So it
8
looks like
minutes.
we'll have 10 breakout rooms, so 5 people each for
Cool.
8 minutes. But before we send everyone, any questions?
Are we making pizza at the beginning, or are we just forming the teams at the beginning?
No. You're doing the pizzas. I know what he was trying to explain is that it's okay. You know, you're forming the teams, but don't get confused by that. You're building as many pizzas as you possibly can.
Another question.
Yep. Yes.
What is the cost of a second or third oven?
That's a constraint.
Being a grassroots pizza company, and this is probably your first business. It's a pretty lean operation, so you kind of have to deal and work around with the resources that you have. We're not at that corporate level yet.
Okay,
Right.
had to ask.
Yeah,
I think that's a great question, though. So,
yeah. That's definitely the constraint, right? You only have one resource.
Yep.
Your oven.
And
Anyone else?
did I hear that you have to have 3 pizzas before you can load the oven?
The capacity of the oven is 3. You don't have to. You can
Okay.
put 1, 2, or 3, but you can't do more than 3 at a time.
Thank
But once you put it in, you have to wait 30 seconds. So you don't want to waste your time putting one pizza, having to wait 30 seconds for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, well, it's up to the team. You all decide how you want to.
You underestimate my power.
And no copy and pasting. I wanted to make sure that it's, that's the point. I mean, for those who have done it physically, you got the paper, you have to actually get with the scissors, cut it, then do the marker, the sauce is the marker. So take your time, no copying and pasting, because this is not about making 100 of them. It's going through the process.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Quick question. Does everyone have the ability to manipulate the forms?
Yes, everybody will have the ability to edit. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so your goal here is to make, like I said, as many pizzas as you can, but maintain quality. At the end, you'll score the pizzas, how many you completed, how many unfinished pizzas you have, and then of course, you'll be deducted, or points will be deducted for leftover ingredients as well as defects, right? So it's the honor system, so we'll let the team come up with their definition of what a defect is and what a complete pizza is.
Excuse me, is there any way you can show us how to do that cut? You use the side left bar to make the, okay. It's
Yes.
just like copy and pasting it. Okay, got it.
Yep. So you got this, and it'll pull up the little shape box, and so you can pull up the 3 shapes that you'll use are the circle,
Okay.
this little rectangular circle down here, and then of course the little cloud for the cheese.
Okay, thank you.
And then one of the important things to remember is when you do create them, if you have multiple objects that are laid on top of each other, here's where the virtual part comes into play, right? It's a little bit different than using paper and scissors and all that stuff. And so what we want to get people used to is the virtual concept. And sometimes you may have items hide behind the other one, but you may need to use the bring forward and bring back option. So you may want to send it back, and so that these things layer properly. So that's part of the mechanics that you need to get used to, right? It's consistently this way between Miro and Mural. It's depending on who puts the item in, you need to kind of bring one item forward and sometimes one item backward, right? So, but actually that can be, that can add to the gameplay. And then of course, I was talking about when you move everything, you may need to select it and group it. And if you do that, everything groups really nicely and you can drag it around. Sometimes if you don't group it, you'll notice that you can take a topping and it, you know, you just drag the one topping and you get frustrated.
Yes, so, and just to reiterate, when you go to the dashboard, you click on the room number that matches your breakout room number. So breakout room number 1 will be link number 1. So that way you're being in your group, and we should have enough people for maybe about 5 people per breakout room. Mm-hmm. So any other questions, or is everyone ready to get started? We're only going to do round 1 first, and then after 8 minutes we come back. So your goal is basically to do as many pizzas as you can, and that's it.
And self-organize, figure out how you're going to do it as a team.
And who thinks they're going to be the pizza master? Who thinks they're going to be like the big pizza chef? Come, Trisha's smiling. All right, Alexander. All right, Trisha, Alexander, Loredana. All right, you guys are going to feed me pizza.
Yeah. Yep.
And some of you have seen my belly. I can eat a lot of pizza. So just saying.
I think Alex said he had some skills.
Yourself?
Absolutely. All right, you guys ready?
Okay. I'll see you guys back in 8 minutes.
All right, we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Here we go.
Have fun.
Hello.
Some people didn't go, or these are new people.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Sorry, guys. Do you mind sharing the link to the Miro board? I just rejoined, so I lost everything.
Sure, it's in the chat again.
Got it. Patrick, do you want to jump in? We lost you, Patrick.
Oh.
Hi, Debbie.
Which room am I in?
I'm not sure why it didn't grab you. Just jump into any room. You can jump into any room you like, I think.
Can you? I don't know if you can. I think you got to send him somewhere. So see maybe who may have maybe 3 or 4 people.
All right. What can there's unassigned. Let's see. So Debbie is unassigned. So I can assign to room 1. AJ's unassigned. I can assign AJ. AJ, I'm going to assign you to room 2.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go. And Brenda. Hey, Brenda, you here? Hi, Brenda. You're on mute. Do you want to jump into a room?
Yes, please.
I'm going to assign you to 3. How about? Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Mary Pam.
Hey, Steve. Since I'm new back in the chat, can you send the link again to the pizza thing?
Yes.
Thanks. And then how do I get back into my breakout room?
Steve needs to send you.
Let's see. I don't think I can send you back in. It's not telling me I can't send you back in.
Or you can go down to the breakout room, click on breakout room.
Oh, join breakout room.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go. Hi, Lonnie. We haven't assigned you to one. We're going to assign you to room 4.
Okay.
You're on mute.
So,
How do I get to room 4?
I'm going to put you in there right now.
Okay.
And click on the Miro room number 4, so it takes you to that same matching.
All right.
Number.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Cool. I think everybody's in there.
Okay, yeah, they are.
I hope it's working. So
Yeah, we can actually take a look at the actual boards. So we have 10 breakout rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or maybe I created 8 or 9, whatever. 9.
8 or 9? Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll take a look. It looks like no one started making pizzas yet. They're probably talking about it.
How can you know? How can you tell nobody started making pizzas?
Oh, because we have access to all the Miro boards.
Ah, check you out.
Yeah, so we can just click on each one of the rooms and see what's going on. We can see the action going on.
Yeah. Don't you want to play, Steve? Why don't you go into one?
I think.
Is there any that maybe have 3, 4 people, and we can just jump in and have some fun too?
I'm going to jump into where the troublemakers are. I'll be back.
There you go. Okay, have fun.
I'll just watch.
Oh, geez, I had like such a sneeze attack.
Man, and how do I?
I think we're still recording. Can we stop recording?
You're trying from iteration to iteration that may be a little bit different than before, just to try to see if they work. It's that way. Think of how you can apply some of these practices, and more importantly, definitely apply the whip limits to the board to see how that creates a new dynamic in conversation and working together as a team. So Steve, we'll get this kicked off. We'll send everybody into the breakout room for 13 minutes. So 5 minutes for a quick retrospective. That's going to be important. That'll help you in round 2. Then kick off round 2 and see how you can improve.
All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be gone for 13 minutes. We will see you soon. And I want some pizzas. Take care.
Some people still here.
All right, Fade. Fade, what room were you in? Sherry, Tariq, Zim. You guys want to be in any particular rooms? Oh, does anybody want to be in any particular room? Because some people did not get in. You guys here?
Send somebody to room 5, because I think they only got 2 or 3 people. So you can send a couple of people there.
All right.
And Mary says she was in room 9. Mary Pam, room 9.
Mary, missed you.
Mattis, it's room 2. And Toby joined late, so you can send him to room 5.
So who gets room 2?
Room 2 is Amadus. Sabor.
I don't have him. Okay.
Okay.
Jose, where you want to go?
Hi, Steve. Sorry, I'm checking late. Could you give me? Could you send me to the 7 room?
7.
Room 7.
There you go, sir. Charlotte. Kwame?
Any.
Which room would you like to go to, Kwame?
I'm not sure. Anyone. Any is fine.
All right. How about 2? Charlotte, you here?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, welcome. Let's see.
Thank you.
We'll send you to 2 as well. See you soon. This is fun. I have to go check on dinner. My wife came down and asked me, am I supposed to fix dinner tonight? I'm like, yeah, we talked about that, but I'll be right back.
Know what she's cooking.
I don't know. I don't know if she is cooking. Maybe I'm supposed to feed the kids. Who knows? I'll be right back.
All right. See you, Steve.
Jimmy, how are you, sir?
Doing well, yourself?
Good. Jimmy, do you want to jump into a breakout room and see what's going on?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Okay, I'm going to send you to 2 because we've been sending lots of people to 2. So
Okay.
anyway, we'll see you in a minute, okay? You'll come back
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Okay, how long was Jimmy waiting? I feel bad.
Just a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So what's for dinner?
Okay, it turns out salmon cakes. So.
Oh, nice. That's 5-star dining.
Well, it's canned salmon, and my wife does make pretty good salmon cakes though, so I'll give her credit. So I like them, and the kids eat them. So that's really all I care about. It's not that often when I get something the kids eat, and I like too.
Yeah, that can be a real challenge. I've got 2 girls, finicky. I mean, I got to cook 3 different dinners every time we cook something.
I know, I hate that. How old are your girls?
9 and 13.
Oh, okay, fun ages. I have a 10 and 16-year-old. I have a 10-year-old boy.
Okay.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. Can you send me to room 2, please?
It's not saying you're not in a room. It's not giving me.
You sent me to the wrong room, actually.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. I think I have to find you. Oh, here you are. Move to room 2. All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Thank you, dear.
I thought I sent you to room. Okay, you're in room 2 now.
Not yet.
Okay, it's weird. It says it doesn't have you as green.
Yeah.
So I see you in room 2, but your little icon is not green. It's just blank.
I'm with you.
Okay. Disconnect and jump back in. Let's see if that resets it. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Let's see if we can get you back in here.
Yeah, Steve, so, one of the things that I think I noticed with these whiteboarding tools is depending on your system and whether you're calling in from an iPad or, a computer, sometimes these whiteboarding tools use a lot of memory. And eating up that memory kicks people out quite a bit.
Oh, okay. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, I hope she comes back. Here is Ola. Hello, Ola. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. Do you want to jump into a room?
Please.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. We're just going to send you into a random room. Room number 1. Now it says he's not joined. Oh, there he goes. Okay, he got in there.
I know, and starting to work with this many people and this many tools and stuff like that, you start to really kind of see the boundaries of what these how they manage communication.
It does become challenging, and so we're getting through all this virtual stuff. Getting through it. Some of these workshops are more challenging than others, though.
Yeah, and I think the good part is that I think that since everybody is experiencing it together, everybody is patient together, right? Because if you were just had like certain groups that were trying this and they were trying it with virtual conferences, it may not be good for the overall virtual tools and virtual learning environment because people get frustrated ultimately. But I think with everybody going through it together, I think we have a certain amount of tolerance, and we can forgive some of these small flaws.
I think so. People were having some challenges, but they seemed relatively good-natured about it. So, and that's all part of the process, right? The first time you do something as a team, nothing works well together, right? Second time a little better. Third time smoother.
That's exactly what we try to show, right? By doing the 3 rounds. So
this is great. So how long has Flowana been in existence? Am I saying that correctly, Flowana?
Yeah. So we've been around a little bit since last October. I would say.
Okay, cool.
So we've, and we.
I mean, officially we've been doing it for a couple of years, but I guess, yeah, official incorporated business.
Nice.
Since
Nice. So you're coming up on your 1-year anniversary here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Nice. You guys got to celebrate.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, because we were, you know, in the beginning, it was just sort of doing it for the company and, you know, doing it with some of our organizations. And then, you know, we decided to start in on doing meetups and seeing how we could do, you know, marketing to people outside of the organization. And, you know, that, like all things, it took a little time to gain some traction, but then COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
That actually really was one of the things I think that helped us out a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good because I know it's gone both ways for folks.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to know that your business is doing well. Yeah, you guys deserve it. I know you've worked hard.
Yeah. I think that like I said, I think the challenge for us was being constrained in a local market. Miami is kind of like one of those strange places. It's, you know, it's not as big of an agile I guess geographically it's not as involved in Agile and in Kanban as some of the other places are.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen in like DC and you know, San Francisco, even Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's got a really big following as well. So, you know, we're building and promoting as much as we can here, but I think it's still in the infancy stage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
DC seems to be pretty good for the Kanban, actually. For Kanban teaching and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of AKTs up there.
Well, there's a lot of agility in the DC area.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, yes, you know, the government is the biggest employer here,
Mm-hmm.
but servicing the government and government contracts, and now the government has realized that what they really wanted, they want shops that are delivering on an agile basis because they can get a lot of value faster. So we're seeing a great deal of agility in the DC area, which you wouldn't expect. Well, I'm glad your business is doing well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So let me ask you guys this: we might be doing a big event with a number of other meetups in the fairly near future, where, you know, we're hoping to get hundreds of people. Oh, let's see, the breakout rooms will come to a close. Okay. Looks like the breakout rooms are closing now, so I'm going to close them now. I'll give everybody 60 seconds. And so we're looking for things to raffle. I don't know if you guys want to raffle a class off or something of that sort. Hopefully, you know, like I said, hopefully we're planning on hundreds of people to attend the event. I wouldn't want to do it if it's, you know, if it doesn't get you guys any business. But if you guys are interested in that, please let me know. Okay.
Yeah, that's certainly.
We'll do something.
Will it be virtual, or what are you thinking? Is this first time doing this event?
Well, it will be a virtual event, but I'm connecting with a variety of other meetup groups, and trying to do something big with Agile DMV. Not just me promoting, but, you know, with Loredana's work, with the folks out in Loudoun County, covered the different areas, and we might hit other markets as well.
Nice.
Depending
Okay.
on who ends up.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
expecting
we
a few
could.
hundred people.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, we could possibly do probably our TKP, which is our one-day class.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about it.
Okay, that'd be a wonderful thing. Hey, look, everybody's coming back.
They're all coming back. How was the second round? A little better?
A lot better.
There you go. That's the point.
Right.
That's the point. You improve, you do retros, you inspect, adapt, and improve.
Sandra, how do we put the pizza in the oven? How do we actually combine
I know somebody's got some raw pizzas going on.
we have plenty in this. We froze them. They're in the freezers.
Frozen? Oh, you know, Travis, maybe you can show them really quick.
Yeah, because we were unable to combine all of the shapes into one, kind of like merge.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you have to put it in the front. That's what he was saying. There's a lot of playing back of putting them in the front, moving them to the back.
Got that, but like,
that's
so
a mirror.
the whole shape, so all the shapes, they're kind of combined, you know, that's what we don't know how to do.
Yeah, and you have to kind of drag and select all and then drag them all. I know it's a little bit of, it's a mirror thing of moving to the back and the front and whatnot.
Yeah. So there's, you know, that, like I had mentioned before, it's like, it gets a little quirky because you get this, like, you're like, my toppings are behind the pizza. And that's where you right click on them and you have to select like bring to front or send it to the back, depending on where it is. So if you can.
So you already grouped them. You had to group them.
Yeah, so you had to group them. So if you
how did you group them?
Right, how did you group them? We know how to bring it to the front.
So Control or Command G will group them depending on if you're a Mac or a PC. There's also the shortcut to bring to the front or send to the back, which on the Mac is function up or down. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
PC people seem to have trouble with the send to back, send to front shortcut.
Thank you, Scott. The layers.
Yeah.
We
So
can do that. It was just the grouping.
My suggestion is training. We need proper training. We are educable.
Part of the
so
retro.
that's good to know. Control G to group, because I had serious trouble with that. I was literally aiming for pixels and then, you know, like right clicking and everything. And it's like, where is the group function? And somebody else was doing that much, well, at all.
Yep, so you can drag around each of the items and then group, or you can Command or Control click them to select multiple ones. But yeah, when there's that tiny, it's easier to just drag a selection around them.
Yeah, and then Command U, or you
What's easy is carry out. That's what the easiest thing is.
Yeah, where is that?
There's carryout pizza. Now, Travis, that looks like a white pizza to me. I'm not seeing any sauce on that pizza.
Yeah.
Very true. No quality. Poor quality on that one.
It's a white pizza.
Maybe I can't have tomatoes.
The sauce is
You don't know my
underneath.
struggle.
Hey, I'm not here to judge. I'm not judging anyone, okay? I'm just saying.
Put the sauce on the bottom.
What if I'm just here for bread?
Sauce
If I'm
on
just
the
here for
side.
bread, am I not allowed? Just want crust.
You know, everybody teach your own. Like I say, I don't judge.
Yeah. Well, the
What better-
third round. The third
better
round will
to
have a
reveal-
little. Yeah. What was that?
Oh no, I was say what better to reveal all the different type of food allergens than pizza, right? We got dairy free, we got vegans, we've got
So true.
gluten free,
yeah, dairy, no cheese.
keto.
Yeah, keto cheese.
I did when we did a meetup at Total Wine. I did have to get pizza that was gluten free and lactose intolerant. So that was we'd get one of those.
Mod pizza.
So it was awesome.
They have a gluten-free crust and they have dairy-free cheese.
Yep.
And
that sounds good.
Crust. Any gluten-free crust. I don't know what I don't know if they make it out of the cauliflower dough or whatever, but yeah, it's great. So
If you're keto, you could just use cheese instead of crust.
Has anyone been keeping track of their points?
What points?
I
think that's a
Are
no.
you telling me we're getting graded?
So you're not even making pizzas at all? Like you see how in the screen for
Wait, how come we did unfinished? I guess we've got some unfinished.
Yeah, you can count the unfinished. And then you take,
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So-
So what you want to do is this is a fun way
Group
to
6 has.
teams compete in an environment. So if you've got a couple of teams playing this together, you can use the point structure to for them to compete against each other to win a prize at the end or something like that. So at the end of each round, the teams, somebody, maybe the baker or somebody is responsible for counting the complete pizzas, counting the unfinished pizzas, and then of course, marking or taking away points for your pizzas that have defects or your leftover ingredients. And you can do that just by clicking on this chart right here, and it'll pull up this, this grid that will allow you to enter in the pizzas. So 400 unfinished pizzas. Let's see, we got 2. So I got 100 points there, and leftover ingredients. Let's say we got 2 there. So it's minus 50 points. So it looks like we have, you know, in total, like 350 points. And so that's how you can use the grid to calculate your points.
So actually, the actual presentation is not an issue. It's just a completed pizza and an unfinished pizza and leftover.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Oh, we got great. We got a lot of points because we completed.
Yeah. So someone, when you go back, you know, whoever's doing the timekeeper can probably add up the pizzas. So round 3, it's now based on orders. So, you know, you're going to get another 13 minutes. 5 minutes should be for your retro from round 2. And then hopefully someone will add up the points. And in round 3, you know, Travis, explain to us what they'll do.
All right. So good, you know, great news, guys. A lot of good things have been happening. You guys have been working together as teams. You've been really pulling it together. And so you've actually identified some ways to automate as well. So what we're allowing this round is, you know, one of the things that we want to manage is waste, right? All that work that we put into those leftover pizzas, you guys can actually use those for round 3. So you guys don't have to go through the work and having to rework or starting from scratch, right? Once we put in the effort, and just like in the real world, if we get some code in there, we're able to bring that over to the next iteration. It's not ideal because it's, of course, starts to interfere with our lead times, but that is a real world situation. We've done all this work and we don't have to start from scratch every time. So let's reuse some of that work. So you guys can reuse some of your pizzas and ingredients if you created them, bring them down to the board. Now, in this one too, you guys have hired some automation chefs, and they've gone through and they've actually created a bunch of ingredients for you. So consider this automation, or maybe you guys bought some pre-packaged ingredients. So what you guys are able to do now is, if when you guys are making the orders, you guys can actually copy these ingredients down here, and you guys can use them by copying, pasting. So you guys now have the ability to copy and paste your ingredients as you're making the orders, right? So you're no longer having to work and create everything from scratch. You now have some automation, you have some help, because now your work is becoming a little bit more complex, and that you have to make things in orders. So the new challenge is to work around orders. You have some automation built into the system, and you can also use some of the ingredients from another round. So that's going to help you out a little bit, all right? So the new challenge is to take some of these things that you've learned. You've learned about WIP, you've learned about visualization. Now you guys got a good team dynamic going on. Now you have some automation in the system. Any DevOps people out there can definitely appreciate this, right? You can do things more, a little bit more efficiently, but that could potentially also bring about some new bottlenecks and some new ways that you need to work with the team. So remember, focus is still on quality, creating as many pizzas as possible, but now you have some additional options with each other. So, and now the new challenge, of course, is working and completing orders. So you guys need to figure out how you guys can communicate and work out the dynamic of creating just enough ingredients to supply these orders.
Is it possible to accidentally delete the automation?
You potentially could. So the first thing you may want to do before you go in there and start playing around is maybe create a couple of and put them off to the side for yourself, because that is possible.
There's always the undo button.
And there's always the undo button.
Okay, there is an undo button. That's right. Okay, Control Z, undo.
Control Z,
Yes. That's magic.
Friend today.
The magic button. So
You have to find it.
orders can be taken in any order, so you don't have to go from top to bottom. So you can prioritize, and that's part of, like, I guess as a team, you will prioritize the backlog and decide, which orders you're going to take on first, and have fun. This third round should be putting it all together, everything that you've learned from round 1 and 2.
Question about the timer, open timer. We have to simulate 30 seconds with our phones.
Yes, 30 seconds for the, so you can show them, right? So 30 seconds is the oven. So again, you get the total of 13 minutes, but again, 5 minutes are for your retro for round 2, add up your points, and then 8 minutes for round 3 to take your orders.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you guys ready to open up your first pizza shop? This is
Day
real
1.
thing now.
Grand opening.
We're running very lean startup that I know.
Are we doing retros first, or are we going right into the store?
Retro first.
The retro first 5 minutes.
5-minute retro, 8-minute store. And this is no longer friends and family. This is the real world, guys. This is where the money is. Ready to go?
See you there. We'll see you at our shop.
All right, sounds good. Here you go. Patrick. Patrick.
Nope. Nope. There he
There. Everybody got back in the room. That was awesome.
Yay. You see, you even got better every round. I guess that's how it is, right? We all get better as things, as it goes by.
Yep, I'm just clicking a button. Let me go check in on some of these teams, because I can jump into a room and jump out.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead and have fun.
Let's see how these guys are doing. Okay. Who's going to be the trouble? I know who's going to be the trouble. So, I'll jump in here.
So I'm really disappointed in this microphone. I wonder what's wrong. Does it still sound like there's an echo?
No, now it's better, but it doesn't sound great.
It doesn't.
Like right now, I lost you. Whatever you did, it sounded like. Oh, hold on. We're recording this time.
We had less capacity this situation.
But did you have more productivity?
Even more so limited by the single oven.
He wants more equipment. So.
I'm ready to get a loan.
There you go.
E-loan, 0% interest.
Mo money, mo money.
He was asked a question.
Unfortunately, the tool got a little bit in the way of the learning, but it's a great concept. I can definitely see where this would work in person.
Yeah, we were just talking about that during the break, and I think one of the things that we realized with this many people is, especially for people new to Miro, that it's probably good to have an exercise where everybody create a couple of shapes together in the beginning and just gets used to more of the mechanics. I think explaining the mechanics is one thing, but then actually going in and having everybody just to try to create a couple of shapes and get that grouping mechanism down, right? And layering things.
Absolutely. I've been using that. I've been using Mural, M-U-R-A-L, and doing exactly that, warm-up exercise.
Yep.
To help them get comfortable. So that'll help you.
Yeah, thank you. That's good feedback, and that's something we're going to take away to our next presentation.
How about that little, they gave you an option at the beginning to take a little, little training. Maybe you could send the link out to people beforehand.
Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Everybody kind of open it up and just make sure that, they can open it on their tablet or their device or whatever they're using, because another constraint that these whiteboarding applications have is they can be memory intensive. So depending on what you're using or the device that you're using, it can eat up a lot of resources, and you'll find yourself maybe getting kicked out or something conflicting with Zoom, right? Because your computer all of a sudden competing for resources, and a situation where people do get kicked out, or their laptop or something like that shuts down or reboots automatically.
Something else going on that you might be sensitive to is that if they're already using Teams in their work environment and you're bringing them into Zoom and Miro, Teams is still sitting around in the background chewing up cycles.
Right.
I noticed a significant uptick in my ability to interact when I went and found it and shut it down. The Teams.
It's good to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good recommendation. Shut off Teams, shut off Whiteboard, because Teams is great, and many of us do use that for work. That's a very good point. So how did everybody do round 3?
Way better.
Much better.
This is in the oven.
So what are the points? Can you share the points, like the final round? How many pizzas you made?
We did 3 orders.
3 orders, great. Who else?
Can't have Steve go hungry.
An order.
Did an order. Okay, great.
1 order. 1 happy customer.
Minus 300. We ended up with a ton.
That's right. We had all that stuff.
We had pizza components everywhere. It was flying. But we got four orders out the door.
It's a lot of waste.
900.
That's okay. You fed some customers, right? So
yes.
So that's a good thing.
Team 4, we all got promotions, but we didn't get any pay raises.
Copy and paste. That is true. Copy and paste is like the greatest invention, right?
Our team took a slightly different approach. I discovered that you could alt drag, which is essentially copy and paste, but in one step. So we did that. We got 900. Someone happened to move the oven towards the back of the restaurant somehow. I'm not sure, but we did.
That is funny.
There's always that person on the team, isn't there? That will just mess things up and have no idea how to put it back.
Have no idea how it happened, right? So let's wrap it up. I know we only have a few minutes left, and in the chat.
Sandra, I have a question.
Yes.
You introduced limiting the WIP, but on what basis you have selected a number 3 or number 5? Are there some rules or some things to remember or ponder when you're doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did is we introduced one of the columns to kind of give people a hint as to what a constraint would be for a team of 5. And what we found is in gameplay, if we start to limit the number, the WIP limit to 3, which happens to correlate to how many pieces that you can fit into the oven. If you do that to 3 or 2, the team is focused in on completing these pizzas, right? And that becomes like a constraint that you can actually use to your advantage. So what that does is that you focus on finishing pizzas, and that gets the team to swarm other areas. So if you have excess capacity, somebody's like, well, I've done all my pizza items, maybe I can help out in other areas, right? So you actually see the team dynamic changing a little bit. You see some swarming happening at the end of that, and then you have less excess and you have less defects, because you're focused in, and you can only do 2 to 3 pizzas at a time.
Okay. Can we reduce or increase the WIP limit as we proceed in the project?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like in the real world, if you find that you need to increase or decrease that, then yeah, absolutely. You use that WIP limit to your advantage. Use it as a tool to improve throughput, and that's different for every team. And you'll see that that can change too when you add automation into that. When you add that copy paste function, you can actually change that and leverage that to your advantage.
Okay, one more last question. When I'm implementing the Kanban for the very first time and I have, say, around 5 developers in the team, what should be my first limit that I should apply as the start of the project? Any recommendation for that?
So if the for the first WIP limit, the very first iteration, it's the team is forming, so you definitely don't want to impose any WIP limits there, because you want there to be chaos, you want there to be extra items, you want there to be some tension there with the people. So the idea there is that everybody's just kind of getting together, learning the game mechanics and learning how to make pizzas together. So the second one, if you're gaming this exercise, then you want, if you're a team of 5 or 6 developers and they're playing this game, we found that 3 is a pretty good number to start off with for the second iteration, because it focuses their attention, like I said, on finishing, and then also it reduces like a lot of the waste that I think people naturally create while they're waiting for the pizza oven, right? Because you have that 30 seconds, and so people are just continue to create things. One of the things that we learn in manufacturing, lean manufacturing, that if you have one system that's more efficient, it basically creates waste. And that can create bottlenecks eventually down the line because now you have all this excess product and excess work. And so the idea is to create a good balance of starting and finishing.
Well, thank you, Travis.
You're welcome. All right, Sandra, do you want to lead us through the debrief?
Trying to duplicate the board?
Yes, when you click on the board that I shared, just go on the actual name of it where it says Kanban Pizza, click on it, and that will bring up a menu where you can duplicate it.
Mm-hmm. And you can
for all of us,
if you got this board for your teams, you can contact us directly, and we can email you the exported file, so we can actually export the file and we can send it to you, and you can import it into your own Kanban board, or you can use this as an opportunity if you have Miro, or you quickly go in and you set up a guest account. You can copy and paste this into your own board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're almost running out of time, so we don't want to take you all too long. So
Last question.
Yes. Yeah.
Do we need license to have it also, the team? We need license.
Miro has a free version.
Miro has a free trial. I think if you need, I don't know how long the trial is for, but if you need to add more people, eventually, yes, you do need to pay for the license. But they do have a free trial. So just to finish off, like the 6 practices again of Kanban that we saw during the game, it's like visualizing our workflow, right? So that definitely was very explicit there with the making of the pizzas. The WIP limit, we just talked about that. Ideally 3. It's in Kanban we actually teach that the WIP limit, it's an art. There's no like magic formula. It's not like this is the number that's going to be the perfect number. You try. Every team is different and unique, so you have to try whatever WIP limit. So in real life, it's the same thing. You just you start with a certain number. I mean, 2 to 3 seems to apply. I know that for a help desk, for instance, the help desk in our company. Yeah, they have a lot of tickets that are very easy to do. So obviously their WIP limit is going to be 10, 15, 20. So it's going to be pretty large because a lot of the tickets takes them only a few minutes to do. So it depends on the kind of task that you have to do. The next slide, just to wrap it up, the manage flow. Obviously Kanban is all about flow. And that's one of the things that no matter what, you want to maximize the flow. And you notice like in round 3, how it was so much easier. Obviously the flow improved. You address your bottlenecks. You obviously you had some constraints that you had to deal with, but no matter what, the flow got better. What we call this, like you had this team agreement. So I'm guessing when you had your retrospective, you changed a few things. You agreed on new things, on taking on roles or things that you were going to do or not do. Change your roles perhaps, or define the roles, or help each other. Swarming is something that we would like to introduce in Kanban as well. Your feedback loops, obviously, that was part of the retro and the feedback that we did, and ideally, you improve collaboratively and experimentally. So those are your Kanban principles and your Kanban practices, and we hope that you all enjoy this game and a little bit of Kanban. You can take it back to your back to your organizations and teams and play it and have some fun. Travis?
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and remember that you can utilize Kanban to help optimize your value, and more importantly, identify bottlenecks and use them to your advantage, right? And balance the demand versus capability. And I think that that's one of the most important things that we've learned from using Kanban is being able to balance the demand from the business, the demand from management, and balance that with the capacity or the capabilities that you actually have on your team. And then, of course, lead time, being able to gain predictability using real data. So with that and with those lessons, I appreciate everybody joining this evening, and we certainly hope that you're able to take away something from this. And like Sandra and I said, that if you would like a copy of this presentation, and if you would like to use this game for your teams, please reach out to us and we'll make sure that you get a copy.
Okay, so thank you guys so much. I thought that was great. Everybody come off mute. Come off mute. They can't hear you. They can't hear you. Come off mute. Come on.
Thank you so much.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you.
There we go. I thought that was fabulous. There were some struggles with Miro, but you know what? What you guys created was beautiful. It really was. Thank you guys so much. We really love the presentation. We'll be able to find this information on Agile DMV. We'll get that posted here in hopefully a couple of days. All right, I've been delayed, and we have a holiday coming up, so I'll try to get done this weekend. And I hope you guys connected with Sandra and Travis. As you can tell, they are fabulous people. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Definitely let your friends know what how great they did and how much we can learn from them. And we hope that we all see you guys again and become part of the community. So everybody be safe. That it is a 3-day weekend here in America. So, we've got, of course, the Germans, they're like, oh, you guys only have 3 days. We have 3 months, but, hey. So, you guys take holiday a little bit different than we do. But
not everywhere. Sadly not.
No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I hope everybody has a good time. And I hope to see you again soon. And don't forget, Ann Steiner at Women in Agile in Montreal, and Laura Donna is going to be talking at Women in Agile in DC, and I'm looking so forward to that because she is awesome. All right, thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye. See you.
Bye.